Hello again. Hey, Chef Alton. So we're going to pick up where we left off, which was on this particular issue. Let's see. Not in the state of mind to understand this when it was reported. I still haven't reread it, but you probably have something to do here. I love this sentence. All right, I feel like I'm focusing on something too much right now, but if you have it in windowed mode and not full screen, open the menu, settings, click undo changes. The screen goes back to full screen. Nothing major, just didn't expect. Okay, I'm still not going to read this. If someone else hasn't reported this, I'm just going to close this. Still didn't read this. Closing this. All right. Yeah. Let's look at the next one. Hey, Logo. Hey, Flair. Hey, Pressel. Hey, Schwartz. Welcome in, everyone. How goes it? What is that new icon next to Olgo? Arc Raiders launch. Neat. I don't think I've noticed that before. For either or so that happened. Yeah. It feels kind of like that. I feel a little bit bad. Hey, Charlie. I feel a little bit bad closing an issue like that. But one, it's almost a year old. Two, if there's an issue, then someone else will report it. Hey, Blob. This is noticeable on Steam Deck. If you just spam repeat a battle, it'll still be apparent even on my powerful machine. I assume this will require getting some other program. Yeah. Well, I have that program now, so let's probably look this up. Spring cleaning. Hey, Sunset. It actually is almost spring. Kind of crazy to think about. Got used to YouTube chat even though I'm home today and could switch to Twitch, but oh well. Yeah, I'm totally fine with people chatting wherever they're most comfortable. With that said, the YouTube window is farther to the left than my Twitch window. So if I don't notice you chatting, you might need to ping me on Twitch. Chop chop. Wow, 100 streams. That's a third person today. Congrats. Good for a stream reference and good for a RuneScape reference. And woo, hats. I've never really played RuneScape, but I know that the skilling up takes forever in that game. So I imagine there's a lot of chop chop going on if you're doing wood cutting or whatever it is. Okay, so we just make a new game here and then just spam start battles. So I guess we do this. How was I supposed to spam start this? Can I just like superpower my adventure? I probably can. All right, actually, let's just do this. Let's just go into quick strike and let's make it take 0.01. And let's have the power scaling be absurd. So now every battle should end in like a 10th or 100th of a second. Hey, Alex. All those bones on the screen. Look at him go. He fixed the duplicating adventures bug. Yep. I fixed that. Can we have a button to max out all adventures? We have that. It's grant all things or whatever. But I want this battle to end super fast. So that should now be the case. Yeah. In fact, look at that. It's ending even the like final battle is super fast. All right, so if I just click repeat over and over. Yeah. All right, let's go do that inside of a profiler now. Profile with timeline. We still have to click all the skills. Yeah, it's not often that I want to max all the different skills. So, I don't know. I don't think we're going to be adding new cheats though at this point. I think anything developer facing is probably not worth doing. If the game does well, then yeah, we could consider something like that. All right, so now we're profiling. I want to take a snapshot. And then, what's going on? Start recording. Okay, yeah. So now send the rogue into battle. And just keep clicking this button over and over. Okay, now we stop this. And we look at the snapshot. Okay, hotspot. Stack traces without user methods. 90 seconds. How do I look into these? Shouldn't there be an expand or something here? Because none of this is helpful, right? Where is the timeline? Man, I clearly don't understand how this is supposed to work. Yeah, where's the timeline? This running is 1.6 milliseconds. Waiting is for the rest of the time. Never figured out how to use it. Yeah, I'm not totally sure what's going on. Hey, it tracks memory allocations too. It's kind of interesting. Set end screen, add child of just the end screen. So literally just doing this to add the end battle screen is what's causing that. I wonder if we can prune the end battle screen at all somehow. It doesn't look like it's super crazy. Maybe it's the party section. Maybe that's what's crazy. In fact, I don't know. Only the standalone version gives you the timeline? Why does profile with timeline not give you a timeline? Huh. I guess I'll just put tracing on. So I got to do the same thing, right? Get snapshot, take a look at this. Yeah, so let's do that. All right, I need the rogue done. I need the rogue to go into this battle. So let's start recording. And then just click this button over and over. There we go. Build the game and point the configuration of the executable. Yeah, I could do that. I don't think there's a reason to though, right? This should be enough. Convert to invariant utils. I mean, this is a little bit concerning. It means that the engine is doing the majority of the work. And it's probably just on adding that scene over and over, maybe even instantiating the scene. What is this? Convert to? I mean, these percentages start getting pretty small here. Yeah, and like I probably don't have a lot I can do. I should probably be pooling end battle screen and just reuse those. Although I don't know how expensive add child is going to be. Out of curiosity, how does Unity do object pooling? Because it's built into the engine, right? Yeah, object pool shared instance. What do they do with this? Get pooled object. Yeah, they have object pool class. Because I made my own object pool that I'm using for floating text, which is not great, I think. But I wonder how hard it'd be for me to use for end battle screen or something like that. I don't know. I don't think I want to look into this too much unless something's standing out, and it's not really standing out right now. Yeah. The bulk of the calls that I'm seeing here are in code that I don't control by just creating these things. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think object pools themselves are that hard. I think Godot makes it a little bit harder because in my particular case, something could be freed from like we have battle windows, and let's say we have like floating text inside the window. The window may be closed, which would free all text instances. So I accommodated that in this pool. We have a delete object in here, but that's, yeah, I guess most people aren't just closing the windows randomly, but I do need to keep track of when that happens. Now, at any given time, we really only need 3 end battle screens. So even then, making an object pool is not so crazy. We could just have an array of 3 of them somewhere. But I guess then they can be freed as well. Also, if add child is what's causing this to take a long time, then it wouldn't help at all. Because at some point I need to add it somewhere in the scene tree. I'm going to try this kind of profiling. Running into disposed objects that should no longer have a reference. A lot of times I find that I can stop that from happening myself. And in this case, I guess I technically could too. Before we close an end battle screen, a battle window, we could just remove all the children from it. So then we'd have orphans. Is this running right now? I guess get snapshot, but all I care about is starting from here. So let's start here. 7. All right, so it's a Godot 2 thing. Yeah, I'm gonna open up a bunch of these things. Like I said, I don't think it's gonna tell me anything. Yeah. It doesn't. 99% of the time is spent in code I don't control. It is weird that it says 93 seconds though. Because this snapshot should only be for 12 seconds. So what is it? What is it measuring? Just like a consistent gotcha. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it is tough. Hey, Leap Your Girl. Are you feeling a little bit better? Did you manage to nap? I want a nap. I want to sleep for an extra like hour or 2. So I don't know what to do about this. Yeah. End battle. I guess one of the things we could try is just getting rid of end battle screen, seeing what happens. Hey, Windy. What are you looking for now? CPU time? Yeah, just CPU time of like, why would ending a battle slow down the game? And I think it's just instantiating the scene over and over. The combined thread times? Oh, really? Okay. Because I was going to say, it didn't seem like, I thought we had like 7 threads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Zaps. And welcome in. All right, so I should probably just go to whatever thread I care about, which I don't know which one I do care about. Either way, I guess it's not going to be stuff that I control. But I was expecting to see a stack trace from this. Yeah, I see. It's just coming from add child. And presumably instantiate. Or well, other way around. Yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Vile. Not quite sure how much better I feel, though. For now, bed feels like the best hiding spot. I know that feeling. Well, I hope you get well. Okay, I don't think we're going to do anything about this for right now. Yeah. Because I've already looked into perf a whole lot. And this isn't something that people trigger this quickly in the game. Granted, it could be pretty fast, but it's not going to be that often. And as I kind of mentioned, I think the 2 main culprits are probably instantiating a scene and then adding it to the scene tree. And both of those are just Godot things that happen. We could get around this, though. We could keep a battle window around that always has the end screen on it. And then just never free it. I think that's what we'd have to do. So for now, I'm just going to say I looked into this briefly. I think that the bulk of the time spent here, well, since this issue, I spent a decent amount of time improving the performance. Oh my God, I can't type. Still, I think there could be an issue here. I looked into it briefly. The bulk of the time spent is probably from instantiating the scene and or the end battle screen and adding it to the scene tree. I think the only real way to get around this is probably to make a pool of battle windows, which are always in the scene tree. We only need 3. Repurposing a battle window isn't something I want to spend time doing right now, though. I'm just going to close this for now. It was only when garbage collection kicked in, and that's with the perf improvements, right? Because, yeah, there are still some allocations I can get rid of somewhat easily, and some of them are on this list, and I don't know, maybe if we made it through all the GitHub issues, I'd look at them again. Yeah, okay. Allow using keyboard shortcuts to move items without even opening a menu. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to do, right? Let's just try this. I'm not even certain from a game design perspective if I want this to be possible. To which point, I guess I should not do this unless I figure that part out. So yeah, that is a big question. Should we even allow moving an item to a destination without having to click it first? And I'd say for accessibility reasons, yes. For game balance reasons, possibly no. But this is a good enough reason to do it. Hey, Hef. Well, let's try it then. Sure, let's just see. So here's what my hunch is. We can detect pressing, let's say 1, and pick up the item under the cursor. If it can't go to the 1 destination, then we drop the item back on the ground. Or we don't really fully pick it up. I'm not sure. All right, let's go figure this out. Item action menu. We should have some kind of input happening here. Here it is. And this has chose destination, which goes to player held item, which is right here on action menu activated. So we are not holding an item for this. So on clicked item destination wouldn't actually do anything. Yeah. So we would need to pick up the item under the cursor, which is something that happens in here. It's not there. Closest drop location? Could be holding an item without actually ever having... Oh, this is not how any of this worked. Oh, we detect that you've clicked an item. So we need to detect the nearest item that you could pick up. All right, I guess I'll write this over here. This issue. When you press 1, detect the nearest item that you can pick up. Well, I guess if you're holding an item, do nothing different from what we do now. Just try managing that item. If you don't have the quick move menu unlocked, don't do anything. Otherwise, detect the nearest item that you can pick it up and like simulate picking it up and try to move it to the destination. If that didn't work, then put it back down in a way that was like we never picked it up. I don't know how that's going to be. Maybe what we do is we change the, what is it, click destination thing, item actions menu. I'll just search for plus equal here. Yeah, chose destination here. So this calls on clicked. This checks something, checks if it will accept the item. Oh, well, that's easy. Yeah, that's really easy. Like a real game dev, how late are you going to be? To launching? I don't think we're going to push the launch. We don't even need to simulate. We can just call this. All right, so how do we do this? Let's go find out. Actually, wait a second. We have chose destination regardless, don't we? Yeah, and then we have a return afterward. So that'll go into here, which goes into this, which is only ever called from this. Okay, that's fine. So if destination is an item destination, on clicked item destination. Okay, so what if you're not holding an item? That's where we put this here. If not is holding item, then we do all this stuff. Just paste this into here. So detect the nearest item that you can pick up. This is not trivial, because everywhere that you can click something, we have like clicked item source. Clicked item destination. Farm. What about a shop? On display clicked. Here it is. Clicked item display. Yeah. That. Can you check on Weblate if our upgrade key storage property is there? At least in the game it's unused. Upgrade key storage. Oh yeah, I know this is unused in the game. This is if we ever wanted to add in key storage later. We have a whole bunch of code for the key storage that's not currently being used because we just start people at 6. What am I going to do? So how about we just start with the warehouse? Yeah, let's just do one thing at first and just see how this is working. So here we create it. And there we go. And now there's clicking an item is right there. Clicked item display. And this comes from clicking something over here, which we only know that you've done because of the item display being clicked. Okay, yeah, great. All right, sure, whatever. Let's just try to figure this out. Yeah, one step at a time. I'm going to do some disgusting code here. Just shockingly bad. Town.warehouse. We're just going to assume this exists. And we're going to get what? All item displays? Am I really? Oh, we can just get occupied ones. Oh my god. I wrote a good function here. True. Nice. Okay, so var foo equals this. Set this to what? A read-only list, I guess? Yeah. This is be occupied displays. Now we want to get the closest one. Yeah, just get the closest one. So item display closest. I don't think we can do this from here. No, I guess we have item displays. I guess we could do that. Yeah, well, that'll work. I guess we could have checked ahead of time. If occupied displays count as 0, then just return. Otherwise, get that. Well, we're doing the otherwise anyway here. So this is just first. Oh, at that point, can we just do that? We never sorted this. Of course we can't. All right, cool. So that's the closest one. Now we pick that up. No. Now we check this bit. Our target is the item destination. So if the item destination will accept the item, and this is going to be closest dot get item, then we pick up the item, click the item display, click the item source. Why do we do this? Oh, I see. So in this case, we're not dragging. So we just do pick up from last item source. Couldn't you be dragging the mouse as you do this? Yuck. All right, well, we're almost done with this. So pick up item from the closest one. Takes in an item source. Use action menu would just be false, I guess, because we already did it. And then drop it off, which is this code, which is already done. So that's the whole code. We're done, at least for the warehouse. All right, let's try it out. I'd be kind of surprised if this just works. So first of all, we need all of our shops. Actually, no, we don't. We just need the garbage slime. There. And then we need the quick move menu, or else this won't work at all. And then we just need some items. Now we save, and then we just press 2 on this. And it's not working. Is it even trying to work? No. Am I pressing 2? Yeah. Okay. What am I missing here? Oh, because this only triggers when you have the menu open. Is that correct? Yes. No. This just has unlocked. Then we go to here. All right. Well, then let's put a breakpoint there. Maybe 2 doesn't do anything. It definitely does something. Okay, so what have I pressed? I mean, I'm pretty sure I pressed 2, but let's just event dot as text. This should be the number 2. Good. And then we check this stuff, which is button shortcut actions. There should be one in here for 2. UI action menu item 2. So this first one is number 1. Send to shop. Yep. The next one is send to recycler. And this should be true. Although as soon as I call this, it's going to no longer be true afterward because it can only be done once. Yeah. So now it's going to not do this. No, I did that. That's weird. Could have sworn. Oh, maybe this has no side effects. It's just repeat calls that wouldn't do this. All right. So now we call it chose destination. That should make it over to here. Chose destination. Yep. So it should put us into here, which I guess doesn't work. So if this is an item destination, it's not? What? Item source is null. Oh, I see. I see. If you're not holding an item, we need to do all this stuff first. Okay, that's not hard. Okay, so we don't have an item destination right now. The item destination that we would get would be the destination of the nearest item that, oh wow, this is harder than I thought. But we only need a source for it. So I guess we could check this here anyway, right? Yeah, this will be pretty difficult. So we would need to iterate over every single one of these. Or we only ever do it on the closest of all the displays. Yeah, never mind. That would probably be best. Because you're only probably pointing at like one thing to begin with. No, that's not true for ground items though. Like what happens if you're pointing at all 3 things at once and you try sending them to the shop, but only one shop is available? Should it always pick the one that has the available shop? Instead of just whatever the top one is? Probably. At which point would we need to do this? What does this do? Handle send to shop. Find best chest for key. That shouldn't be a problem. We're on lumber mill. Nice. Hey, have you ever thought of putting 500 NPCs in your game, Wendy? I think you should do that. And make them in 4D. All in the 3D and fully animated. Yeah, I mean, and voice acted. And I think go for some like A-list actors, like Hollywood actors. Well, all right. I mean, if you don't care about your game, then don't do that. But I'm just saying, if you want to actually have a good game. Hey, Jerry. Yeah, romanceable, of course. Yeah, I want Tom Cruise in the game. All right, so yeah, here's what I'm debating on, which I should probably write this down. So, not sure whether I just want to act on the closest item or if I want to act on the closest item within a certain range that has a valid destination. And regardless, we need to do like make sure we're not too far from the mouse. Same thing over here to do, make sure the warehouse actually exists. And to do check every other source. I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like this because we're going to need to look this over and figure out the, yeah, anyway, figure this out. Directed by Marvel. Yeah. I wonder what level of B or C list you need to go before you can secure Cameo. So you know about Cameo, the service, right? You'd be kind of surprised you can find on there. But that's just paying some celebrity to make a video in their free time. Which, I don't know. The whole idea, just, I don't know how I feel about it. The film Lost Boys, still going to do that? I think you should. When I hear Sexy Sax Man, I think of that Careless Whisper video. I don't know if you've seen what I'm talking about. Yeah, here it is. Sergio Flores. This. Oh, man. It was a different time. All right, I think for now, let's just pick the closest one and let's just ignore everything else. And let's ignore the distance too. And then let's try to find, so let's see if this will work. So get this for the item source as an item destination. If so, this means that it will accept it, right? No, it doesn't. So we have to do this too. Why is this red? Oh, sure. Because of this? Yeah. So I just need to name this like 2 or something. So this will pick up the item and then this will use it. Okay, let's try that. Sure. I'll add this to my evening list. Better not make me regret this, Wendy. Last time I watched a piece of media Wendy suggested, I lost an hour and a half of my life. What was that movie called? The Lawnmower Man. This. I had no nostalgia for this movie because I had not ever heard of it before. And if you look it up on IMDb, it got a 5.5. Now, there's another movie that I started watching the other day called 10 by 10. And I got maybe 5 minutes into this and realized it was like a 5.5. So I stopped watching. Where's the rating on this one? 5.2. Yeah. What a film. What a film indeed. I was like, this will bring me closer to Wendy. So it's worthwhile. Actually, Wendy, speaking of bringing me closer to Wendy, I have a bunch of questions I've been meaning to ask, which I should just type up tonight to you. Ask Wendy a bunch of questions. I'll give you a sneak preview right now. So they're all pertaining to the next game, which is if I were to hire you, how much would you charge? How many hours would you be free for? Are you good at pixel art? This is my ignorance showing, by the way. I like your art. I just don't know if you'd consider it pixel art. And are you good at matching other people's styles? In fact, those are pretty much the questions. So let me just paste those here. You don't have to answer now. And you don't have to answer at all, ever, if you don't want to. You can just stop rating me, stop streaming, never come back to Twitch. Well, work on a controller, you need to click something first on there, right? You don't need, well, this particular thing that I'm coding is so that you don't need to click something. So let's see if it works. So far, no. But let's put a breakpoint here. Maybe there's something going wrong. So get the closest one. The closest one should be something holding a potion, right? I'm going to guess yes, but how do we confirm that? Get item, probably? Yeah, there's a potion. Great. Okay, that's fine. So now what's going wrong there? This should be a shop. No, this should be the recycler. Null. Do I not have the recycler? No, I have them. I'm pressing 2. Action is what? Send a recycler. What? Why is that null? The item is null? What? Oh, whoops. That was supposed to be closest. Okay, my bad. I shall give that some consideration. Okay, yeah. And hey, Vipup. And hey, Codex. Are you only taking on pixel artists for the next game, aside from the team you currently have? I'm not totally sure. And I also haven't asked anyone on the current team if they want to join for the next team. And I don't even know what I need yet. So there's like a bunch of considerations I need to do first. And I still have to design the game. By the way, Codex, I have a question for you specifically, which is a while ago you mentioned these two things. And you were on, I don't know what you were on. A PlayStation controller? Where is this? Hang on, let me see. I wanted to ask you if you could test this again on the newest demo. Yeah, here we go. My quick notes from gamepad testing, PS5. Unintuitive the mouse position. Okay, so here's what I was wondering. Could you try this again on the demo? R1 shouldn't work anymore. R2 should. And yeah, the virtual cursor works for you. And I can follow up on this. In fact, let me just ping you on Discord, I guess. Would you mind testing this again on the demo, not the playtest version? Okay. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. All right, I'm going to delete this for now then. Anything you're able to share about? So I could technically share everything about it, but I'm purposely withholding things just to make sure that after designing the game, I still like it. I still want to pursue it. And another big reason why is because I really like this idea and I want to pursue it. But let's say I tell everyone now, and then Skeleseller like takes off and I end up developing Skeleseller for another year or something. I don't want to have like shared the idea and then not be able to do something about it for a year. So the things I can share are, it's still going to be single player. It's probably still going to be Godot and C#. It's probably going to be along the lines of like adventure and comedy. And it's going to be probably very different from anything you've played. I do not like making just the same game as what I've already seen out there, as evidenced by Botland. And I know Skeleseller might seem like it's a game you've seen a bunch of times, but I tried to do some unique things in it. See, we're speaking in cryptic egg riddles over here. Okay, so now let's try this out. Oh, nice. It's working. Yeah. So it is always just picking the closest item. So I could actually do this right now. I could have the mouse over there, and it's going to act like I picked them up and drop them into the slime, even though I'm nowhere near that. So we do want to make sure that it's... Oh, it's not picking off the ground. Oh, right. Because it's only going to pick from the warehouse. Yeah. So we... So this is really cool that you can do this. That's the feature. And now I just want to make it only work within a certain range and then work for pretty much everything. So distance to mouse is within a certain amount and the distance. All right, so what is distance to return? A float? Yeah, float distance to mouse equals that. And return distance to, oh, wait, what am I doing? No, I'm being stupid. I'm being very stupid. Let's undo that. And then do this. If closest dot distance, global position dot distance to mouse is greater than, let's say 1 tile, then just return. Make sure the item is actually near the cursor, or else you could press the button repeatedly from anywhere, which would basically be cheating. Talking about the game after Skeleseller? Yeah. Yeah, now you'll see it's already resonating with my target audience here. From these messages, I agree with the idea to try to make something unique. I enjoy both comedy and adventure. Had I kept sharing ideas, Wendy would have been like, oh my God, this is the game for me, because Wendy's the only audience member. Now, here's what I've learned. You could try selling a game like Skeleseller for 15 bucks a piece, or you can get Wendy to take out another mortgage for you, and you just sell it for like $1 million to him. Now, DLC is a bit tricky, because by then, he probably won't be able to get a loan again. So I think 500K per DLC. But it's a pretty smart move. I've been working the mark for years now. Why is the distance afloat? Aren't all distances counted with pixels? This is just straight up distance, like mathematical distance. It doesn't know that I'm measuring pixels. It's just a vector 2 to another vector 2. So it's going to use whatever the unit of the vector 2 was, which is a float. Although, actually, you could have a vector 2i and another vector 2i, and you might want the distance in float anyway. Raid the elderly rich people. Here's what you do. You get them to go boating. You take treasure chests with them, and then you'll go with your crane on your boat and pull them up. I'll give you a 5% discount on the game. Can you imagine? Actually, that would be pretty significant for him. That's $50,000. All right, so now you can't press 2 from just anywhere. Here's the closest you can do it, which is right... Okay, that was... I didn't mean to jump the mouse at the end there. Right there. So if I just grant a bunch of items, if we are anywhere near this item, it's going to pick it. If we're just outside of it, it's still going to pick it. In fact, it should pretty much be anywhere that you can... Yeah, anyway, it looks like it's working pretty well. So yeah, you would be able to do this. I think this is kind of cheating a little bit. I don't know. This goes back to the question of like, do we even want this from a game design perspective? Because it makes it really easy to stock stuff. Okay, so let's upgrade all the shops. Let's get a bunch of customers. Let's speed this up so the customers buy everything. There we go. And now let's go give ourselves a bunch of items. And I want to put all these in the shops. Actually, I want to do it for... Oh, you can't do that. Yeah. Yeah, so this is kind of crazy. I still don't know how I feel about this. Yeah, I don't know. Like, should you have to open the actual menu or at least click the item? I guess not. Maybe it should be an upgrade in the game. Like there's quick move menu and there's quicker move menu. I don't know. Maybe a second level. Yeah, I'm kind of torn. Maybe we just never advertise this, and for the people who figure it out, they can use it. And for the people who don't, then too bad. All right, whatever. Let's just leave it in. Okay, so now we got to pull in all the other item sources that aren't just the warehouse. And we need to make sure the warehouse exists. And I should probably put... What is that? Is that from just building the garbage line first? No, something's going wrong here. Oh, no, that's sprite IDs. I don't care about this. Yeah, those don't matter. What issue is it solving? So before this, you used to have to click an item in order to do any of these functions. You could drag it there, so I could click there. Or you could just press the number 1. So it used to be you'd click, press 1, click, press 1, click, press 1, click, press 1. Now you can just press 1. You don't need to click. So it's just a pretty much an accessibility thing. And I think from that perspective, it's worthwhile to just keep in the game. But yeah, I don't think I should tell anyone about it. So everyone keep a secret in chat. Okay, so what this is going to do is basically pick up an item close to the cursor. Pick up item close to cursor. And we specifically taken an action, which we should convert to a destination. But the destination's based on the source. So I guess we have to take in the action. So this needs to be for quick move. Okay, this is the stupidest function name, but whatever. All right, now all of this stuff goes into there. Pick up, blah, blah, blah. Great. Yeah, that looks pretty good. But this had some early returns, which I guess just means it won't pick up the item. Hey, Quiz. Used to hardcore watch this stream. Nice to see you. Nice to see you too. Yeah, you have been here since like the old days. Yeah, welcome back. If this is for accessibility, you'd want to advertise it? Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to change strings. Because of you, I passed my college, actually, so I want to say thank you. That's really nice. Yeah, I'm glad. And yeah, congrats. What are you doing now? Okay, so we could kind of trim down what we're checking here. Although most of the time where are the sources we could even have? Shops, warehouse, the ground, key storage. Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, what other item sources could there even be? I think that's all of them. Hey, Smith. Do front-end work for a company now. Nice, 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 nice. We don't have customers? No. No customers. You have to manually drag it to them. Or just put it in the shop. It's taking it from workers count as a source. You can't take something from a worker. But if you could, it would count as a source, yeah. All right, well, this is going to be kind of annoying to do. So warehouse is done. Shops would be next. I mean, all of these should do the exact same thing, right? Just on item display, clicked item display. So we just need to get all the item displays from any of these things. In that sense, we could make this really simple to code. Although kind of poor on allocations if we want to do this. So instead of just getting this, we get a whole bunch of these. I read only list of item display. Oh, but these are only displays. All item displays equal. Oh, wait, we have a town to get all item displays? No, we don't. Okay, I was going to say, if we made that, that would have been amazing. There's get all item destinations. We don't have a get all item sources. Oh, we have get all occupied shop displays. Why do we do this way? Okay, let's call this function. Yeah, I don't really care about performance right now. I just want to see if this is even going to work. So town.get all shop display. Oops. All right, I didn't mean to do that. There. Okay, so all of those, then the warehouse, if those exist. Then what else? Ground items. We do need ground items. And then key storage. Town.key storage. Get occupied. Nice. And yeah, ground items. How do we do that? items on ground. Why is it a hash set? And then that means it can't be an item, or it can't be an item display. It's got to be something else. It's got to be something that can be turned into a node 2D because we care about its position. All right, well, item source is probably the best thing we can do, and then just cast it. Town dot ground item. Oh, we can't even do that. Oh, we have items on ground right there. Wow. Does this just forward it to the other one? It does. Okay, so there's that. Now what's the problem here? Cannot implicitly convert from that to that. An item display isn't an item source. It is. What's the problem? Oh, dot dot. Okay, yeah. I was like, I'm missing something here. All right, so that's all the item displays. Now we want to find the one that has, well, I guess first we can check this. If the count is 0, don't do anything. Now we'll go through all of them. This isn't going to work because we need to cast this to a node 2D. And now it's not a display anymore. It's actually just item sources. Cannot convert from item source, item display. Yeah, this should be item source. Now, same thing, node 2D closest. Great, great, and great. Yeah, so we got to rename some stuff. I'll write this down. Trying to think what you were working on in 2017. Yeah, it was Botland back then. From 2015 to roughly 2020, I was doing Botland. And then from 2020 for maybe like, I don't know, 3 months, I was doing Adam Learns. For those who hadn't seen that, I was going to make a course website. That's what it eventually turned into. Now all of these are free and they're just on YouTube. I wouldn't even go to the site if I were you. But yeah, then I went from 2023 to 2020 to 2023. I went to work for Google. And then 2023 until now has been mostly game dev. There was a tiny bit of some other stuff at first. But I think now we're going to do game dev for the next at least a few years. But probably for a lot longer than that. Yeah, I've been back for a while now. I think the exact day was, there it is, December 4th, 2023. So I guess not quite 3 years. It's been like 2 years and what, 2 months or something. Is that right? Why does that sound wrong? Okay, sorry. My brain is like totally fried now. Years, months since then. That didn't even work. I didn't even copy the text. Brain is more fried than hell. Yeah. 2 years and 2 months. Okay. Time's evaporating. I know. Especially with it being so close to launch for Skeleseller, I feel like, where is my time going? I've just been working on this and I've been enjoying it. And I think I'll really appreciate having done this. But I do think there's a certain level of insanity you need to get to launching a video game. Okay, so now we should be able to press any number from any item ever. So if I just put a bunch of stuff on the ground and I press 2 on all of these, that broke everything. Invalid cast exception. Can't cast a ground item source to a node 2D. Ground item source isn't a node 2D? Oh, is there like a get pickup point? Yeah, there's a get pickup point. We need that. What does that do? Returns the item's position? Okay, interesting. I guess that makes sense. Anyway, I forgot that this existed. It's very easy to use. So all we need to do is, instead of casting to node 2D, we just do get pickup point. And then same thing over there. And that should work. Barely clinging to sanity at any given time. No, but that's the thing, right? It might be different for you now, but in the middle of making a game and at the beginning of making a game, I feel like it's fun, it's different. It is kind of a slog, but it's not a slog in like a crushing stress kind of way. So I feel like if we just drew time and kind of excitement here, you start at the top, you drop very rapidly, And then it kind of comes and goes, and then you get toward launch, and probably it rises again. Is there any bug or glitch or issue that would delay the launch? There's tons of stuff that could delay it. So like, let's say tomorrow I got into a car accident or something and ended up in the hospital. Like, I probably wouldn't launch the game from the hospital. But anything that's going on right now, nothing that I'm aware of, at least. Hey, Mark. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. We're doing math. Excitement-based math. Yeah, howdy and happy Monday. All right, how's this working now? Nice, 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 nice. Look at that. Okay, so we can just cram a bunch of items into the shop. Now, this is what I was talking about. Right now, I'm pressing 1 on this. It's just trying to take that shield and put it in the armor shop. I don't have an armor shop. So if I click here, it's not doing anything. If I move the mouse up a tiny bit, now it puts a potion into the shop. So that's one of the fallbacks of this, which whatever, fine. I don't have a problem with that. Now we should be able to take things out of the shop. Good. We should be able to take things out of, excuse me, the key storage and put them in here. Good. That's actually pretty nice. In fact, I wonder if you just held 1 and you just drag the mouse over these things. It'd be kind of funny. What else? Did we try every source? We tried the key storage. We tried a shop. We tried the warehouse. And we tried the ground. Yeah, that's everything. Okay, so this feature is working. Who needs auto eat when you have this? Yeah. Oh, I took the wrong cloak. Give me the red one. Nice. Hey, Sean. I enjoy almost all of game dev apart from launch. I always get super depressed for several weeks after launch. Yeah, I don't know how my mood is going to be because I don't remember what it was back in 2020 or 2019 whenever I launched Botland. I think I just didn't feel like anything had really changed. It was just like I was still working on the game. But the plan was to still work on the game. Now the plan is to kind of be done with it. And that unless the game does very well, yeah, I probably would be done with it. Been going over the bus factor plans at work. For every good intention or planned action, there are always a whole bunch more that would fail miserably. Yeah, I think the adage you can't predict the future holds true with really everything. But especially project planning, and especially with a lot of people, like you can't count on someone having the 40 hours they propose that they'll have next week. It might not happen. And I think the larger the company, the easier it is to absorb those bumps. But yeah, if you're just a solo dev or something, it's like, well, if you're out of commission or you're sick, there's no work's getting done on the project. Was Botland free to play? It was, yeah. Okay, so I think all this stuff is pretty much done. Honestly, the code for this wasn't too terrible. I'm going to write this here, which is that we only check the closest item. If there are many underneath the cursor, that means that we'll pick one seemingly by random from the player's perspective. This means that if there's a potion and armor item under the cursor, but this picks the potion and your potion shop is full, but the armor shop has space, then too bad. This won't do anything. It's just not worth. Yeah, it's just not worth it. The in-game solution is to invest in the warehouse to fix this. Wink. Okay, so then I guess this. There's a potion and armor. Yeah, so like, suppose there's a potion and armor item under the cursor. Your potion shop is full, but your armor shop, it has space. This may pick the potion and do nothing. Can't be moved to the shop. There we go. You have emojis in VS Code? Everyone should have them, right? I don't think that's something special. It's just a font thing. And if your font doesn't have emojis, it should fall back to a font that does. Probably, although I don't know that for sure. But yeah, the font I use is the hack font, and I doubt it has emojis, so I would guess that this is just doing a fallback. I mean, how would I find out? I just type an emoji into the browser or something, right? Yeah, like if I type this here, this is not the hack font, but the emoji looks the same. Yeah, so it's got to be some system rendering that's happening. Okay, well, I think this is looking pretty good. And we can just lump all these things into the same thing, right? Actually, you know what? I'll just make a Boolean out of this. Is item actually close? Is item actually close? Okay, so this doesn't need to be item destination 2 now. Whoops, I deleted the 2 and then typed it again. And then this doesn't need to be item displays. This needs to be all item sources. And then this is the closest source. This is a source. Variable should begin. Oh, yeah, right. This will... This will attempt to use the quick move menu as though it were open when you're not even holding an item. That's kind of a dumb way to say this, right? It will finally... I'll just type that. Slightly smarter. Here, Kudo. Tried to type emojis in my VS Code and nothing showed up. Huh. Strange. I think I type emojis on Windows in VS Code. It's not a setting, is it? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, I guess we're keeping this behavior. This is not the most performant. It's going to allocate a whole bunch of things here. If we wanted to get around those allocations, what would we do? I guess we could if we wanted to, right? Instead of making a list with all of these things, we just iterate over them as we go. Because all of these are... Oh, this isn't. Okay, maybe we just don't do anything about this right now. Yeah, I'll check it in. I'll make it better later if I want to, and I might not want to. And this is at least a user triggered action, so it's not like it's just happening under the hood. You'd have to actually do something here. Okay, so now we got to go test some other things really fast. Hey, dead monster. You don't want emojis in your code? Oh no, you want emojis in your code. How else are you going to do something like this? You won't. It's not even valid C#. I think this is valid in some languages, though. Some languages allow for emojis. I think Swift does. Okay, so what are we doing? We're just finding an item on the ground and then trying to send it to this. And we can't. But if we unlock the quick move menu, then we still can. Why not? Oh, whoa, what just happened there? What? What was that? Something very weird just happened. I think I inverted this. Yeah, I inverted this. Is item actually close should be less than or equal to. Yeah. Okay, well, that's why you test things. And that's why you always leave a note. So now let's go test it again, and then I want to take a break. Yep, that's all fine. Now we build this and get some money. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let's go check that in. Allow using quick move menu without opening it. This makes a lot of allocations flush face. Fixes that. All right, it's break time, everybody. You can all play Jump Royale. Is it jump time? Is it jump time? What is going on? Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Close the game. Okay. So we're done with that one. Cool. Next one is bug with Z index. Press escape, click settings, press T, press escape. That sounds like an easy repro. All right. Press escape, click settings, press T, press escape. Okay, I guess we don't need the last one. This is above the background. What was escape supposed to? Okay, so we change it so that escape closes that window in the back. I mean, we could just prevent shortcuts on this screen. I'm not really concerned about this. What happens if we click save settings now? Oh, I see. Okay. Let's go find out why that's happening. So there's game settings and in-game menu. And the panels tab container is there. Do we do something special here with this? We don't do anything special there. Panel tab container is fine. Adventure panel tab? There's something on here that's breaking everything. And it seems like it's this. None of these have different orderings. Oh, that one does. Z-index is 1 for some reason. Why? It sounds like we should just set this back down to 0. Why was it ever 1 in the first place? Wait a second. If that was 1 the whole time, does that explain why maybe party selector has that? I don't know why that was the case though. Okay, well, we're going to find out whether I fixed 2 things at once here. So let's set this down to 0. And let's try that same thing. Resize the window a bit. Settings T. Okay, so that is still happening. Oh, I never saved this. Wait, I shouldn't need to save it. Now let's just rerun it. Cool. Oh, nice. Okay, good. So I think that's fixed now. I wonder if that fixed the other issue that we had. How do I go back to? Yeah, this is fine. I don't mind whatever's happening here. This looks okay. What was happening in the picture? Yeah, it was just that was a higher Z index. Does this break something? It looks fine to me. We can hover over things, yeah. So what was the other issue I wanted to test? The tutorial. Skip tutorial. All right, I don't want to skip the tutorial. And now we can see if that arrow is in the wrong spot. No, not the arrow, the tooltip. It says like click here. We can speed this up, thankfully. There. Okay, so now we got to shrink this. No, that's still happening. Oh, you know why that's still happening? That's probably because the root scene that has the... No, never mind. That's not true. I was going to say this is messed up, but this is not messed up. I still don't know why this one's happening then. It's on... Well, let's go look at battle panel tab. Maybe for some reason those were also set to be higher than they should be. No, 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 and no. Yeah, I don't know why that is then. Unless it's in here. No. I don't see anything wrong here. Let's go to partychooser.tscn and look for Z index. No, nothing. And Z index is what they call it, right? Yeah. All right, well, whatever. We fixed the one bug we set out to fix, so I'm happy about that. Fix Z index on Adventurers tab. Note the repro, well, if the repro changed slightly. Do this. Instead of press escape, it's click the background to hide the, I always forget the name of this. In-game menu? No, game settings menu. All right. Another one down. Let's keep working through them. Quick move menu doesn't always work. I wonder if this has been fixed just by virtue of all the things that have happened between then and now. Maybe not. But I think with the keyboard shortcuts, maybe this isn't super important anymore. Let's just load the game. Hey, if you click here, it's got to be highlighting this. But once it is highlighting that, it looks like everything's fine. Yeah, I think everything's fine. You press M while in the settings. You can press M while in this, yeah. But I don't think there's a problem here, is there? And then you could, what's the last tab that we have there? Perks. You could probably press that too. Yeah, and that one's okay. And then the only other things you'd have are the ones that are in here. I guess just these, right? So I open that up. I press F4 and then Q and E. Yeah, this is all fine. I'm not concerned about that. All right. This issue is solved and we've changed so much that I don't think this is happening anymore. At least I couldn't repro it when I tried very quickly just now. Maybe we mark it as completed. I don't know. Stale. Sure. Okay. I see Abby here, and guessing that she's going to come sit on my lap, I'm going to take this off ahead of time. Otherwise, I'll be baking. Speak of the devil. Hello, devil cat. Yes, come over. Come on, come sit down. Yes, good cat. Want to sit down? Good cat. He is so soft. All right. Quick move menu. Consider trying smoothly zooming using the scroll wheel. Yeah, I like this idea still. I wonder how hard it would be to do. What a good cat. Camera. Colors of her fur are pretty crazy. Yeah, I think she's a very pretty cat. Yeah, you are a little cat. Just rubbing her face against the pop filter. All right. Yep. You can lay down. So right now we just change the zoom directly. And then whenever we check the zoom, we're checking, I think by doing like zoom.x. Yeah. So we would need to keep track of the real value somewhere. Like what this thing should be. And then tween with only the displayed value. It's probably going to be kind of hard to do that. Because I got to change every single place where this shows up. Let's just search for zoom dot. And I only care about camera. Let's just open that one up. There aren't that many. Yeah, okay, how about this? Let's just try this out and see what happens. Private, float, actual, zoom. And what do we start that at? It's got to be whatever the default is. So I guess in camera ready, we figured that out. Default zoom value. Okay, now we potentially change all of these. So this should use actual zoom. Actually, pretty much everything should, right? What's this? New zoom is less than old zoom. This should be a float. Update zoom index is based on actual zoom, I guess. All right, so that's going to break a whole bunch of stuff. Yep. Now, what's the problem here? Cannot be used with less than. Where's new zoom? There it is. Well, she's going to be a float now. Okay. Kind of surprised there's no error here, because there probably should be an error because of this. Oh, guess not. All right, so now when we zoom on something, we're going to tween between what it is and what it should be. Tween, tween, create tween, tween property. All right, that's probably good. That's also probably good. And maybe that just works. Let's try that out. This probably won't, because there's probably somewhere outside of this that we access the camera zoom, because normally that's just a public thing that you can access. I'm very interested to see if this works. Oh, that's terrible. What is it even doing? It's like it's zooming first. Oh, it's moving the... Okay, so if I zoom exactly at the center, yeah, then it kind of looks fine. And even then, not exactly. Yeah, it's because it's moving. Otherwise, it's pretty neat. Huh. Where do we do this? Isn't there like a zoom and mouse? Yeah, here it is. So this global position stuff, if we didn't have this here, I think it'd be okay. Except for now, it's just going to zoom wherever we're centered. It zoomed outside the boundaries. Yeah, I'll need to take a look at that too. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. I think if we want this to work, we need to keep track of the tween that's currently zooming. And then cancel it if we try zooming again. Don't we already have a zoom tween? Yeah, we do. This is for pan over time. All right, so private tween, new zoom tween. I'm just going to say to do rename this. So when we call set zoom, we're going to do that and that. And if this is not null, then cancel it. What does kill do? Aborts tweening operation and invalidates it. Is there a stop? What's that do? Stops tweening and resets the tween to its initial state. Will not remove any. Okay, I just don't get the invalidates part. What does it mean to invalidate a tween? Godot tween kill. I don't get that. I mean, maybe we do kill this and just make a new one. In which case, we're always going to make a new one. And then instead of zooming... No, this actually should be fine. It's just going to zoom in even faster, right? I know this code is not great. I just want to see what it feels like to zoom this way. It feels weird. Because every time we zoom, we're starting a new tween. So maybe instead of using a tween, we should just do this ourselves. Which I guess we'd be doing in process. All right, let's try that. I'm just going to test this really fast. So we want to take our current zoom, new vector 2, actual zoom, actual zoom. I guess I want to increase by a certain delta. Float delta equals zoom.x minus actual zoom. But at least, no, at least would be this. At least by 0.1 and at most by, oh, that should be correct. The zoom delta. I can't zoom out now. Oh, because of this? Yeah, I need this to be desired zoom delta equals this. And then, yeah, we could check if this is greater than 0 and do a max, otherwise do a min. Isn't there a smarter way to do this? I guess just get the absolute value of the delta. Well, yeah, it's this, and then multiply it by the sine of the delta. I think that'll work. Yeah, I think so. I still messed this up somehow. How, though? Oh, first of all, if the delta is... Yeah, this. If it's... Come on. If it's greater than epsilon, then do this stuff. Okay, and that way I can actually see what's happening when I'm trying to zoom out. Because I messed something up here, and I'm not sure what. So I'm going to try zooming out. I didn't do anything yet. Why is this doing something? It's still being hit? There, now it's done. Wait, it's not done. Why is this still happening? Well, I guess that's a problem then. So what is this? It's going to be 0.1. And then the sine of this thing is -1. So our actual zoom is 2. And this is 1.9. Because this is -1. Yeah, that's the problem. Did I just reverse this? I might have just reversed this. Yeah. I'm not really applying any brain power right now. This tends to happen in the afternoon. I'm just testing things and then seeing if they work. And I think it's a bad way of approaching this. Yeah, so now it's inverted, but it's at least zooming in and zooming out. It's then doing this too, which I don't know why that's happening. Zoom level must be different from 0. All right, I'll probably try to figure this out later. Or should I just take a look a little bit more right now? Because I really haven't been thinking about this too much. Also, this should have been 0.1 times delta or something like that. Or maybe even just delta. No, wait. I always want to do... No, I don't know. Yeah, I should probably just save this for later. Okay. So I took a stab at this, but I can feel that my brain isn't operating 100%. In short, I changed all instances of zoom.x to be a float actual zoom. And then I tried a tween, but it resulted in weird behavior. Because every time you would scroll again, it would reset the tween. Pull in the server first if you're not planning on adding a toggle for this. Why? I don't think this is the thing that's kind of all that controversial, right? Like if you went to Google Maps, which I very likely cannot show on stream, like this is just the behavior by default. It works pretty well. I guess I could zoom in on some like totally random location. And it's not even that performant, but yeah. Wait, actually, I don't know what's happening in Google Maps. It's not scroll wheel zoom that's a question here, just to be clear. It's should we do it immediately or animate it happening? In process. But couldn't get it to work. You don't like smooth scroll? I think my only problem is when it happens too slowly. But yeah, I'm just going to comment this here for now and then probably just cut this out. We might never end up doing this. I do think it'd be a nice change for this game. Oh yeah, I need to comment zoom on mouse cursor. Excuse me. And set zoom. Needed to comment out the position changes from this. And what else? Set zoom. Would pretty much just set this rather than changing the camera immediately. Okie dokes. All right, well, let's look at the next thing. Consider making signposts more obvious. I pretty much just already closed this. There are a couple things we're doing right now, which is we have the buildings menu. We have the signs in the world. We have tips telling you about that the buildings are available. I don't expect people to just randomly float around with a camera and find the signs, although some people do that. You can have the zoom in or out, set a target zoom level, then each frame check the current one and step toward it, so a manual tween. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was trying to do and just couldn't get working quickly. And I don't feel like I'm operating at 100%, so I don't think it's worth probably spending the time now, but it could be worth revisiting at some point. So one of the things that someone suggested is doing something like this on each sign, showing an exclamation mark above it and attract attention a little bit more. Honestly, if you're looking around really quickly, I'm not sure if you'd see it, especially in between these animations. There's not always motion there. And as mentioned earlier, there's always the buildings menu. You can just access this if you want. I think I'm just going to close this. The thing I'd be most likely to do here is to add available action indicator. To the signs, but even then, I don't really think it's necessary. Especially when you first build the potion shop, make it seem even more like it's something you should be doing. Seem even more like upgrading the number of stands. Something you should be doing, yeah. I'm just gonna close this. Okay, next, perks menu has a scroll bar sometimes. I don't think this happens anymore. Do you think signal buses are a good idea? You mean like some event listener that you pass around the bus instead of just like have some centralized signal system? Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. You know, I think a lot of what I know about software engineering still considers automated testing, even though we haven't really done any of it for Skeleseller. So it's like you can just make everything static and global. You could have like one event bus for your entire game. I think it hurts testing, and I think it hurts sometimes maintainability of your code because it's harder to reason about something if it can be accessed anywhere. So yeah, I think it all kind of depends on what you're doing exactly and what properties of development you want. All right, so what did I just say we were looking at? This? Yeah, I don't know if this is ever a problem again. Like, we don't have a scroll bar here. If we were to shrink this enough, we'd see one show up, I think. Yeah. And like, okay, that's fine. And then it goes away. All right, so yeah, I don't know if this still repros, but when unlocking a new perk, okay, maybe that's what we should be doing. So we do this. We buy a bunch of stuff like that, and then we get some valuable items. How do I get this to happen? Like that, maybe? And then just speed this up. It hasn't caused any scrolling. Yeah. It still hasn't. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if this still repros or if it ever consistently did for me. If we hear reports about this again, we can reopen the issue. So far it works, better not jinx it. Yeah, and it might work for good. Like, it's not like that's necessarily a problem. And I think that's what's important as a distinction. The other thing too is it kind of depends on like how many other people are working on the project. Like, let's say 7 other people started using that event bus in a way you weren't expecting, and then you needed to change it somehow. It's like, okay, now it might be tough. You have a team, or is this a royal we? So yeah, there's a team of people working on Skeleseller. Darkstorm was one of them. And the ongoing work now is mostly, because we're so close to launch, it's mostly Kevin is working on the Spanish translations. We're 19% away from done, and then we'll have every main language I wanted translated completely. Only issues tracking what listens to events, just a couple more steps extra. I don't think that's the only issue. I think the issue would be a hypothetical, which is like, what happens when you want to refactor this? Like, let's say you wanted I don't know, duplicates of events that happen, but you need to identify the source or something, or some things shouldn't be able to listen to the events, or I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty much like a refactoring or a testing effort that might make it harder. Saying I feels weird. Yeah, I kind of swap between the two, especially when I'm streaming. Hey, Karada. Thank you very much. right, so I never reverted this, did I? Nope. All right, next up is this. Add automatic speech bubbles for some townsfolk. This isn't gonna happen, I think. I do think this is a good idea, but at this point, we would need to localize all of the strings that I add. I'm also not sure how many people would see it because you could be looking anywhere in the world. So they'd either need to be persistent or show up often enough. It's another thing I never really thought about too much with this game. Like, imagine a game like Super Mario Bros. You don't get to just like randomly pan the camera around. You would have to move Mario there, and by moving him there, we then know that like you're there, so you care about this screen. And they added something like this for Super Mario World. I think you could hold like L or R, and you could, what was it, L, R buttons. But even then, it was like you could only look a little bit to the side. Where is it? Oh, they don't even list this there. Scroll screen. Well, they just don't talk about it in here after that. Could you ever get Mario off the screen by doing this? Or was it just off to the side if you did that? No, I'm not going to find this. Yeah, I'm not going to find this. Oh, here we go. You can scroll the screen in Super Mario World. They don't show a picture. Why is content so pathetically lazy allowed on this stuff? You know, I do feel this way every once in a while. I still go to the Costco subreddit because every once in a while I'm going to go to Costco and I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's a new product. And there was a cat in a Costco box on the subreddit. And I just thought, this is so vaguely related to Costco. If this is allowed here, couldn't you just take a box of anything on it? Like, I don't know, Nintendo Switch. Oh, a cat got into my Switch box or something. It's like, just keep that in cat-related subreddits. It seems very silly to me. Now, if it were a cat bed sold by Costco, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. It's like a product you get at Costco. It's related to Costco. Which is the box of a product. Like avocados or something that you bought at Costco. What do you care? Consider adding a barrel to fishing battles. I think most people eventually realize how fishing works such that this isn't really a problem. Yeah. I just don't think this is a high enough priority to do at this point. It would be nice to have a little more clarity around fishing, but people do seem to figure it out. Most of all the subreddits for science. I do wonder about how much bot traffic there is on social media sites. And one of the things I wonder too is how many people are out there just talking to bots without realizing it? Or like 90% bots without realizing it? And I know this is kind of the dead internet theory, but you got to imagine that some people are more isolated than others and just, yeah, aren't aware. Hey, Kavino, thanks for the raid. How you doing? I'm a little tired right now. just to let you know. Hey, you got. But yeah, welcome in. I hope your game's going well. If you'd like to share any links, feel free to. Hey, Severus. We've been working on Skeleseller here for quite some time. We are very close to launching it. It comes out in 3 weeks and like half a day. Yeah, a little more than half a day. So that'll be March 17th. Wake up. Oh, I'm wide awake right now. And look, you can see Abby here. She's like, why are you raising me? Stop doing that. The name Gravity is taken. Now it's back to the drawing board. Did they at least use like a gravity portmanteau that actually made sense for them? Dance the Tango of Death in Gravity. Fast-paced, physics-based arena brawler. This game actually did decently well too. Wow. That looks pretty good. So back to the drawing board, you said, right? Hey, Ski. Gravity. Capture the flag. 9.81 meters per second squared. It's also a space game, right? It's like capture the flag in space. And with hooks and stuff. Grappling. Grabture. Realm Grabture. I've got just the name for you. Swingularity? Oh, that's pretty good too. I think Realm Grabture is the best. Flag Steroids. That's pretty good. Was that suggested in the stream already? Yeah, I think Realm Grabture is what it's got to be. Every single game you ever make has to be some play on Realm Rapture. Consider removing if statements from shaders are possible. This is just not going to be worth it. There's just no, whoa, like quadruple type the J. Oh man, it's still doing it. This is what you get when you own a cat. Let's just take all the loose fur and put it back on the cat. That'll show her. There's just no way this is going to be important at this point. We've had some minor CPU, well, we've had some CPU/RAM related issues, but no GPU related issues as far as I can tell. And this is a micro optimization. Okay, consider requiring all battle windows to be docked or undocked, not a mix of the two. I'm still very torn on this. There's something I see a lot of people do when they play Skeleseller. So they start a battle and they try dragging away to undock this, and that doesn't work, which we could make that work. That's one thing though. But yeah, you have to click the undock button. And the second thing is that they undock one window. They almost always want the other ones undocked as well. So we could just undock them all by default. And we have a shift button that you can press here, so you could actually do this. Do I have another adventure? I don't have another adventure. All right, let's get another one. Let's put them in here. Okay, so if you want to undock all three windows at once, you just shift click, and there you go. And then you can dock them all again. You can change the size of them all at once if you want, or shrink them all. You can't close them all at once, because that's just not a scenario you'd probably want to do. So yeah, this probably isn't worth it. Yeah. I just don't think we can predict whether or not people would want this behavior. And it's not causing confusion or becoming difficult to manage. Yeah, take care, Cavino. Hope you enjoy your food. Take care of yourself. Thanks again for the raid. You think it's a pretty good web server handler? I'm planning to use it for my website, and I'm trying to get alternate ideas if it's a good idea. I think it's fine. I think, you know, a lot of this comes down to what's ergonomic for you to use. Because if you knew for sure what your traffic numbers would be, you may do something different now. And traffic numbers could be anything, by the way. Like, could be sales. It could be whatever, just user base. It could be, yeah. It could be any metric you might have. And yeah, like imagine the companies that go through some kind of growth phase that, yeah, they've got to struggle with their infrastructure and everything else. It's like if you were guaranteed success, you were making a multiplayer game, let's say, yeah, you wouldn't host it on a computer in your closet or something. You'd write scalable infrastructure. So I think Node.js is fine. And I think if you're fast at it, then it's probably fine. I'd probably suggest using TypeScript with it, not JavaScript. But yeah, I don't know what other issues you might run into exactly. Supply chain attacks, probably. Make it clearer when the fishing pond doesn't have any fish. When there are no fish and no enemies, probably show a message like add potions to the extractor to add more fish to your pond. Maybe mention they can flee now. They've already gotten the fish. Yeah, I think this is pretty similar to the other one I just closed, which is that this just probably isn't going to happen. It's just not worthwhile to do at this point. Okay, measure shop throughput. I think the armor shop isn't getting chosen as often. I wonder if this is still an issue. I almost don't want to measure it because if I find out there's an issue, I'm probably going to puzzle over this for like 2 hours. And I don't think I've seen people complain about this too much. The other thing is toward the end of the game, you get the armor or the treasure room. And that's when you start grinding armor into keys. We did test this on Discord a while ago. And that's when I realized this bit. This was, by the way, for those who hadn't seen this is kind of crazy. So we have 3 shops in the game. One is here, one is here, and one is here. And based on how customers naturally move into and out of it, they might be more or less likely to buy from it. So what would happen here is a character can only enter the weapon shop through the left side and the bottom side. So if they enter through the left and they happen to path over to here, they might leave it very quickly. But if they leave through the left side, they might take a very long time leaving it. And the longer they're in this circle, the more likely they are to purchase from that shop. So the armor shop had some problem where, I don't even think it was the armor shop at the time, right? When was this issue filed? No, wait, maybe I did do that. Anyway, the armor shop had an issue where there was no reason for a customer to go over to this point, or they were less likely to or something, so they wouldn't be inside that circle for as long. So they wouldn't buy from it as much. I did get that ski, yeah. Hey, Mysterious. Yeah, the noob, I think it's probably a good choice for you. Yeah. So, dare I measure this? Didn't I write measurement code somewhere? What is going on in my computer right now? There we go. I commented here that I didn't test shop throughput. I think the armor... Wait, what's this? Oh, interesting. Testing out the fix, I realized it's not a great metric to see how often a shop is picked. Instead, all we really care about is the shop's throughput. I didn't actually measure this when I fixed. Okay, so that's what we had to do here. I need every shop to be stocked constantly. And then I need to see how many armors, weapons, and potions do you sell. We might as well just do this. Yeah, well, Leap Your Girl, a lot of these things are very minor, or they're things that you'd eventually realize yourself. Like by the time you unlock the fishing pond, you've probably been playing the game for about an hour. So at that point, you probably are having fun if you're still playing. And if you encounter like a minor frustration, you're probably more willing to forgive it. All right, so how do we put these things into shops? I had some code that did this, and I remember pasting it somewhere. This function, what is this? No, I don't want that. We talked about it a while ago somewhere. Close is completed here. Yeah, all right, well, too bad. Alrighty, let's go do this. So when something is sold from a shop, that's a customer buying it. We could do get tip amount to find out where that happens, which is, no, that's one spot. Where's the other spot? Buy item, okay, that's great. And we know which shop you buy it from somewhere. Yeah, just made a purchase, okay. And we should have the item category. Do we? Well, yeah, the item category of the item, which tells us what it is of the shop. All right, great. So we're gonna make a couple of static numbers here. Private static int num armors sold. Didn't even need to do that. Num potions, num weapons. And then down here we just do if display item dot item category is equal to armor. Well, that's weapon. All right, it should know how to fill in the rest for me. Nice. And then anytime we sell anything, let's just print out how much of each of them we sold. Customer bought this, total sold weapons. Yeah, nice. See, this is where AI is pretty nice. Like, I was just going to write this myself. The format doesn't matter. It's just plugging in the variables and stuff. Okay, now we need to always have the shops be stocked. I had some code for this a while ago. I don't know where it is anymore. All right, fine. Let's think about how I would do this. I guess in town, in process, we go through each shop. Shop, and shops. Get shops. Shop.get item displays. Isn't there a... I'll just say fill. Great. Now let's go find that. All right, so to fill this with items, we need to get all of the empty displays, which is this. I love it when that happens. It's fun to say, fun to narrate. So now we go through each item display and we make a random item here, item display dot set item. Okay, and now we got to create an item. Item dot create. This takes in an ID, right? Yeah. Okay, now the ID has to change based on the category. So item ID, item to grant equals switch. Nice. All right, armor, let's pick one of those. And potion, let's pick, I don't know, some random thing. It doesn't really matter. They can sell for 0 for all I care. Now, what am I doing wrong? That's not how this works, right? Isn't it the other way around? Isn't like this switch? Yes, it is. Cool. All right, I think that's the code. Let's go try it. What's the logic of simulating customers this way to begin with, as opposed to just giving each NPC, iterate all the available items and pick one? I suppose this way pathfinding is built in. It was just supposed to make them a little bit more realistic, which I know isn't saying very much. But let me put it this way. If whatever's working now is pretty even, then everything's fine. If it's like drastically skewed toward one of the shops, then it's probably not as good. But yeah, let's see what happens here. Man, I just sit in this like awkward caveman position because of the cat. I want to like shift forward. I can't. She's ruining me. Okay, so now we save and we... Why is that happening? Oh yeah, because of how grant item works. In fact, can customers even get that? Yes, they can. Okay, so now we just add in like 1 million customers and we watch the stats. Those exceptions are because of customers. Oh, those are not because of customers though. Well, well, well. Yeah, this is the problem. By setting items here. All right, well, we can fix that by just tanking performance. There is no type for this. Yeah. Let's do that to list here. Okay, there we go. All right, continue. I saved, right? Yes, I did. All right, let's look at the stats. Selling a lot of potions. Yeah, this is already good enough. If it ends up skewing by the whatever 10 to 15% that I'm seeing right now, that's still fine. Because remember, the player can always just move items to the garbage line if they want. I did actually notice this happening, though, that once someone buys an armor item, they seem to buy way more armor items. Although maybe that's not what I'm witnessing from this data. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it does look like weapons are maybe 10% lower than the other ones. Kind of hard to tell because everything's moving in real time. Oh, no, that was just randomness. I don't think we fully fixed this, but yeah. All right, well, let's watch it happen. We can close out of this one. It's hilarious. These skeletons will never be able to, or the workers will never be able to put their potions down because as soon as a potion is taken, they spawn a new one. Now, there's one thing this isn't accounting for, which is that, and this is so minor, it shouldn't affect the data, but there are only so many armor items in the game, only so many potions, and only so many weapons. I may just coincidentally have put in more weapons and armors, and when a customer desires an item, they just randomly pick from the ones that you've seen. So it's if there was only one weapon in the game and a customer desired a weapon, they'd always find that weapon here and then they go buy it. But like right now, this person wants a potion. They would have been able to buy it if that existed, but it will never exist here. So they won't ever get it. But like I said, that should be very minor. We see one person with a thought bubble right now. So all right, I'm going to stop it here. They've bought about 1,200 items, and here is the total. 408 plus 434 plus 430, and then 408, 434, 430 divided by 1,272 times 100. So I'm going to just truncate this, not round. So here are the percentages. That's close enough to 33% that I don't care. So we're not going to do anything about this. Okay, so I measured this in the following scenario. Those are very close to one another, so I don't think there's anything to worry about. All right, what's the scenario we did here? We have this fill shop. Town.process calls shop.fill on each shop. And customers log how much of each item they buy. Oh. Yeah, so just jolted. Someone reports a bug saying their weapons aren't selling as much. Just gaslight them. Hey, I noticed you streamed like 700 days of development of the game, but day number 367 is missing. No, that wasn't important. You don't need to look at that one. It certainly doesn't invalidate what I lied about. Okay. So we're done with that. Whoops, did not mean to click that. Buy item, sure. Town, skip tutorial, and what else? Yep, shop.fill. Cool. All right, fix intro fading. Oh, I remember this. I still see this every time someone plays a game, and I think, man, that looks unprofessional. But no one's commented on it yet. But I don't have the patience to do that right now. Prevent customers from wandering around the warehouse. I'm just not doing this, am I? No. I just don't think this is worth doing. Really, this is how this should go right now. Like, I want to do things that people are going to notice or have fun, or they're not going to have a bug happen, those sorts of things. I don't want to make it like, oh, customers don't wander around a certain space in the world that has no impact on the game. So, yeah. Hey, Mr. D-Boy. Mr. D-Boy is even closer to his launch than I am to mine. By the way, I remember you saying that your wish list really picked up in the month up to launch. This week is Next Fest, but Skeleteller is still like number, I don't know, 124 on popular upcoming. I have not noticed an uptick in wish list. I think it's got to be much higher on the list. What has it been today? It's been a net gain of 30, which is about what it's been, I'd say. Pokemon in 4 days? The new $20 ones that were on Game Boy? Or a new one completely? Really? Yeah. Well, if I just look at all history, the only uptick I saw was when I did the TikTok videos, and then it dropped right after that. So if we just look at the trend after the drop, it looks like it's pretty stable. It's probably gonna hover around 30. I would guess this would keep rising a bit, but yeah, I do wonder, what if it just doesn't? That, but a Pokemon Presents is on the 27th. I see. Gotcha. I wonder if it's because Next Fest. Well, Next Fest just started today, and my 1 month point was, I guess, 6 days ago. So it was probably just your marketing that helped, or maybe I'm going to see the same thing happen too. By the way, ads are about to start, but since the cat's on my lap, I'm just going to stay at the computer for now because she's sleeping. Isn't that right? Okay, let's go back to the issues. We've got 91 issues left. Make it clearer when the sound sliders are overridden. When master is muted, it should probably look like all the other sliders are muted. Same thing for effects and the 3 sliders beneath it. Only other consideration here is that we might want to play a small sound. I don't think we're going to do that. I'm also not totally sure if we even want to change the sliders. And how hard it would be if we did that. Probably not very hard. We just change the modulate maybe? That would make them look transparent though. Probably want to make them darker. Which we could probably do. Yeah. Let's maybe try that. Sent like 250 emails yesterday. Oh my God. How'd you even find the addresses to send them to? I hate marketing. I mean, that does sound frustrating. I've got to send a bunch of emails. But yeah, I send on like the days where I send the most emails, I've probably sent 20, maybe 15 or something. And I'm always like, that's it. I'm done. So yeah, I need to pick up my game. All right. So we go over to in-game, this thing. And then I zoom in over here. And let's pick the town sounds one because it's the farthest along. I'm just going to change the modulate to be like red. Does that do anything? It does. Okay. So what I think we could do is just make this like a darker gray. It's still draggable. Actually, does that communicate what I even want to communicate here? I don't know. All I want to do is if master volume is down to 0, that we gray out all of these. But who's going to mute something completely? Yeah, this is stupid. This is really stupid. The reason I don't think this is worth doing is that reasons. Hardly anyone is going to fully mute a volume slider. And even if they do, probably obvious enough to them when sounds aren't playing anymore that they muted it. Look for similar games. Yep, I see. Do you have a marketing plan? I already kind of started it. I mean, it's a combination of like me having made some videos, reaching out to influencers. I'm going to eventually probably run ads. By the way, I requested to be on the Twitch front page on launch day, and they rejected that application, which means I think this is like the 4th or 5th one in a row that they've rejected. And it kind of makes me wonder, do they just not want me to be on the front page anymore? I'm probably not a good candidate business-wise to be on the front page. I don't push for subs. I don't know, like play a popular game or something like that. So yeah, it's probably a net loss for Twitch. I wonder if I should just try every single month from here on out and just see when do I finally get it. Be surprised how many wish lists you'd get if you made shorts on there. I did make shorts on there. And I mean, I guess I was a little bit surprised, but it wasn't like a crazy amount. Again, that's where this spike came from. That was from me making stuff on TikTok. Great loss for Twitch. I don't think it's a great loss for Twitch. Like Twitch is a business, and what they care about is viewer retention and monetization. So if my stream doesn't cause viewers to stay or it doesn't cause viewers to spend money, I mean, it makes sense that they wouldn't want me to be on the front page. So yeah, I mean, it's just a business move for them. Again, I don't keep this private, like my sub counts on Twitch or anything. Right now I am at 93 subscribers. So it's unlikely you'll find other streams that have like, 100 viewers at any given time and have fewer subscribers than that. That just doesn't tend to happen a lot. But like I said, I just don't really push for it. I try to time my ad breaks with my actual breaks. I just didn't this time around. All right, so we're not going to do this one. What's the next one? Pause the game while in-game menu is showing. I still just don't really care to do this. People have commented on it, and in my opinion, it doesn't really matter too much. Like here, we fully pause the game. Thanks, Sound of Gaming. You really don't have to, though. I appreciate it. I'm really not saying that to like fish for subscribers or something. Yeah. Anyway, this pauses it. If you take a look at a character moving, they just stop moving. Then you click settings and it unpauses it. And I think this, we're just going to say this is part of the game now. This is just part of the game now. For real though, it's an idle-ish game. So leaving it unpaused isn't a bad thing. The menu just before this one has it paused. By not having it paused, be paused, you can hear the effect of moving sound sliders around. Since sounds are playing. Well, could be playing, would likely be playing. Can still pause the game if they want, just not with this specific menu. I think there was another reason for unpausing. There was never really a reason for it, I think. There's the reason not to do it, I guess. But yeah, I don't think there's another reason for it other than the sound sliders. But I just still don't think this is worth doing. You got almost 200 wish lists from it. Those are dark tactics. Oh, man. Yeah, I think there's a lot of that going on Reddit, though, where it's like, hey, here's what I learned doing whatever. And you post something you might have learned, and then you link the game, and it's like, I don't care about sharing my learnings. It's like, I just want to share the game. And I see a lot of people doing that, and it's, I don't know. I guess I sort of felt this way. What was the platform? Blue Sky and Twitter. Like, I don't care about either of these platforms as a consumer. Every once in a while, it's nice to go on there and see what other streamers are doing that I would watch and just haven't been up to date with. And in that sense, it's like, you know, original social media, like a posting in your neighborhood about here are some events going on or something. But otherwise, it's like the world at large, it's like, yeah, I guess I can see what every game dev is doing, but it's not like I'm just randomly browsing Twitch either. So I only cared about it from the point of view of a producer most of the time. And it wasn't very good for me because I just never built an audience there because I never really used it. For speedrun is a timer. What do you mean, Christine? Hey, got an atomic. Hi, you want to bite my finger? For a quick goofy short for YouTube for a test about the game. Why are you biting me? What are you doing? Like attacking my hand. What are you doing? Wacky cat. Allow Alt Enter to enter full screen. I'm still kind of torn on this. Your cat's just a potato and that's it. Oh man, Abby has a lot of energy still. She's very fast when we play with her. I am kind of losing some steam here. Hmm. Oh, we've done loads of this. Okay. At this point, we've done so much performance testing that we don't need an open issue on it any longer. I've improved a ton of stuff. Not that I've done everything. World's better than it used to be. You got banned on that one? Why? And yeah, I have a note to post to, I think, Play My Game and Destroy My Game. Upload daily photos and vids, and bam, hit him with add to the game. Yeah, I think the way it works with a lot of social media is either just keep creating content, hopefully it's good content, and then something will probably catch on, or I don't know, rely on other people that have that reach for you. And yeah, the problem is it's like, okay, in any 2 years that you have, you've got the actual game dev you've got to do to make a game. And then for marketing, yeah, maybe making some videos yourself is a good idea. If all you have are 2 years, though, it's like this is now going to take time from something else. Like I spent 2 days making, I think it was 7 shorts. And I think they did pretty well. It's like that was probably worth about $1,000, maybe, given the number of wish lists I got and what I'm assuming they'll convert to. But is that the best use of my time? Like that was 2 days that was taken away from game dev stuff. And yeah, that probably was a good use. Like there was a good number of wish lists. If you repost a lot in other subreddits, yeah. Immediately getting a site-wide ban for self-promotion. Oh, feel bad for poor Wendy. I do think Reddit's kind of rules around that stuff has always been a little weird to me. The concept of if someone else posts it, you're fine, but if you post it, you're not fine. It's like, shouldn't upvotes and downvotes just be for that? And if people want to moderate the subreddits in a certain way that they can. It just sucks if you don't have an audience. Yeah, and I mean, you've been streaming now for long enough where you've been building an audience. And ideally that sort of transcends the game boundaries that you have into whatever games you do in the future. But yeah, this is, I don't know, I feel like this is the world nowadays, is that the barrier to both social media and to game dev is so low that anyone can do it. So then it floods the market out there so that people who are doing it maybe at a higher quality might have a harder time finding that audience too. But hey, that's been the one fact of commerce. You always need to advertise, or market, I should say. I've reported bigots to Reddit admins and got the response, users not breaking any site rules. It makes me so mad. I wonder. Okay, so one, those admins might be looking at like the wrong posts, or not looking at posts at all, or not be humans. Because I bet if they looked at whatever specific things you were talking about, they'd probably be like, okay, yeah, that's not something that we want on our website. Then again, I guess you could always just get a bad admin who looked at that stuff and is still like, yeah, this is okay for whatever reason. But I think that's the problem with big companies, is how do you even get a human involved? And then how do you get them to do the due diligence that they should do? And yeah, I think it can be pretty maddening. Twitch does that too. I once had like, I don't know, 200 accounts all whisper me a bunch of racist stuff. And I, even just reporting them all was really difficult to do because I had to go through like 200 DMs and like click 4 times. And then I don't know if anything happened. And even if something had happened, it's like, those are probably just hijacked accounts anyway. So Twitch is probably happy to ban them. And the actual users who own them probably didn't even know they were taken. All right, what else can we do? Game version for launch, so it doesn't have alpha in it. What? Didn't we get rid of this a while ago? Yeah, we got rid of this a while ago. Well, we have an actual launch task I need to go look at. Fully launch the game. Do I write anything about versions in here? Make sure we launch a new demo version. Okay, I'm going to write this over here. This is basically all work for March 16th. I'll probably need to organize this a little bit more. But make sure the version that I launch is at least 1.0.0. The demo should ideally match the release version. Yeah. Yeah, this is worth closing just in case I bundled a note into 204. Why hijack accounts on a free website? I truly never understood that. Typically because of reputation and trust, either with other users or just with the platform itself. So imagine this. You see 1,000 accounts get created within whatever, like 5 milliseconds of one another. And now 5 of them do bad stuff. You'll probably be like, okay, I can probably ban the other 995 of these, right? But now imagine that it's 1,000 accounts from just random people. So you have something from 2016. You've got like, 42 of them are from last year and blah, blah, blah. Now it's like, well, there's no pattern between these. They just got hijacked. So if one of those people had posted 17 things before and they all made it through, well, their 18th thing is probably fine too, right? But no, it turns out they were hijacked and that 18th thing is actually malicious. So it's just harder for the website to detect. Putting threats of violence in chat. Yeah. I imagine that one in particular is difficult on a gaming site because probably there are a lot of like, oh, hey, go kill that enemy or something. And that's like normal game parlance that no one would bat an eyelash at, right? So automatically detecting it's probably really tough. But yeah, if a human were to review it, I imagine it'd be like, oh yeah, this is clearly in the context of another person, not in terms of a game. Yeah. Got a lifetime ban on that Reddit pixel drawing game for placing 1 pixel during community war over a spot. Yeah, these things are sad. And they push away people who might be a boon to the platform. All right, let's go to the next page and see any other things we can clearly close. Yeah, like I don't think we're doing this at this point. I don't know, I'm still torn on this. And didn't I try this briefly? If you're on a controller, you now can always open that menu very easily. If you're on a keyboard, you always have the escape key. There is no mouse-only way to open the settings menu. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. UI cancel. Which means you need a keyboard or controller. Specific sequence of mouse clicks. Does this still happen, and do I even care about this? Press left click, do not release left click. And then hover over the garbage slime, right click to drop the item, and then release left click. This is very specific. So press left click, hover over the garbage slime, right click to drop it, and then release left click. That no longer happens. All right, this no longer happens. Where does that say? Make the poisonous skin tooltip clear that it works on bite. I don't fully recall what it says, but I think it's unclear what it works for. If it's not, then just close this. Is it clear? I don't know. Poisonous skin. Your zombies have poisonous skin, causing attackers to get poisoned for 2 damage per second. Infuse your zombies' bites with venom. Oh, man. It says bite as a lowercase English word with no green on it. So this might have gotten translated in such a way that it doesn't make it obvious that it's this. But I think it's probably pretty obvious. So I'm just going to close this. Out of curiosity, let's look at maybe like the French and the Spanish translations. Venomous bite. What does it say? Infuse your... Well, let's search for infuse your. Infuse your. Yeah, here it is. So what is this in French and what is it in Spanish? Okay, so let's go to translate now because I don't understand either language. Oh, we can just do detect. Imbue your zombies' bites with poison. So that's probably bite. And then what is the word for bite in the game? Yes, good. And French is... Yeah. Yeah, I think it's clear enough. I think it's fine. I know I only looked at those two languages and English, but yeah, I think it's fine. It currently says... Can we do this? Yeah. Ideally, we would have highlighted byte screen or something, but this is fine, and it's already been translated to every language. Yeah, oh, thank God, my legs. My legs, goodbye, cat. Oh. Do you only know English? I've studied different languages, but I wouldn't say I know any of them at this point. I spent the most years studying French, and that was probably, I don't know, that's probably 4 to 5 years. And then I think 3 years of Arabic, and then maybe like a year of Hindi, and 1 month of Mandarin. The last one I didn't. I spent a lot of time. Hey, Vladianto, excuse me. Welcome in. You know French. Damn it. Thanks for the raid. What were you doing on stream? Let me just take a look. Oh, you're still live. Oh, wait, I don't understand any of these words. What do these words mean? Hi. Hang on a second. Telling my story as a developer. Oh, cool. Yeah, welcome in. I hope everyone enjoyed your story. Now I'm curious, but I'm guessing it was not in English. Was it in English? For those new here, we're working on Skeleseller. And my cat is going to stop me from streaming in the next like 10 minutes probably, so I probably won't be here too long. Picked up some Spanish here and there. Yeah, so we're working on this game. It launches in about 3 weeks. Also, I'm seeing that even in the very first bit of this trailer, like, this is not running at 60 FPS. And I don't understand why that was the case. It's like jittery. Maybe that was the mouse movement stuff. I don't know. Oh, wouldn't that be happening even on this render? I'm not sure. I don't want to make another trailer. Yeah, so given that we're so close to the launch, I want to look through all the GitHub issues that I have and just close any that are meaningless at this point. So this I don't even think is done yet, or done still, is it? Yeah. We stopped doing this a long time ago. Actually, did we? Maybe we didn't. What happens if you hit the maximum amount of money in the game? Okay, before I keep clicking, I don't know what the max is. So let's look that up. Max currency is this much. Okay, let's just save it in our save file then. And then we can just load the game and see if it's red. No, it's not red. And I got an achievement for cheating. Similar thing about dropping an item onto something and access clicking it. Yeah, that I saw. I'll still need to look at that. All right, I'm gonna close this issue. I tested by setting my money to the max, which is that. Close. I don't think we're gonna put shelving in the warehouse. I feel bad about this. I think this would have been neat. We had a graphic. This is what it would have looked like. It would have thoroughly consolidated the warehouse. But yeah, I think doing this would be tough. You had an achievement that detects if a player edits their save and gets an achievement? No. No. Oh, that is kind of interesting. I'm not totally sure how I do that because you have to make sure it's something a person can't get on their own. So probably you have some kind of like redundant check that, oh, if you modified your money, but you didn't also modify this property, then we know you cheated. And then what happens if I accidentally grant that achievement to everybody? Actually, can you remove an achievement from somebody? Can a game remove an achievement? Is there a way to remove games achievements? How to reset Steam achievements? Oh, they can just run the same command that I could run, right? But as a game, I don't know if you can do that. Let's check the Godot Steam thing. I don't really care too much about this. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but I'm kind of curious. So there should be something here about achievements, right? Why don't I see this here? They might call it stats. Okay, I'm confused. Where did they put this? User stats. All right, achievement. Here they are. They have a reset achievement. They have reset all stats. They have set achievement. They have delete. Clear achievement. Yeah, they do. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that, though. Man, this is so tempting. It would change the structure of the game, though. It'd also change how entities find items. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well, is a graphic at least in the unused folder in the game? So, unused shelving. Yeah. I don't think this would be all that quick to add. We would need to change the warehouse to make shelving instead of item displays. This would affect quite a lot of code unless I like expose them as item displays to the code and then change the world map to accommodate the smaller space being used by the warehouse. And then make sure NPCs path in nice looking ways to the shelves. How do you do your save files? I'm using resources. I heard they have security issues. They have security issues? Like, is it possible to inject code? So we're just saving JSON files. There are no security issues with them, but they are just in plain text, so you could edit them however you want. But yeah, there's no code injection or anything. I don't care about the people editing their save files. That part is like, it's a single player game. It doesn't really matter. This makes me sad. I do still like the idea of shelving in the warehouse. Although it would make the game world look a little less impressive. We may also have to... Man, she's meowing up a storm right now. Do you hear her howling over there? You just missed her, haha. I had to balance a game a little differently due to the... Yeah, whatever, yeah. Treasure room. The game balance may change slightly as workers don't have to walk as far. All right, I'm going to close this. Make these look good. Have we already done what I wanted? Yeah. I think we've already done this at this point. One of the changes I want to make is to use the key grinder here. We have a graphic for it, and I just never added it to the game. And we should probably prioritize this. Actually, that's what I probably should have been doing this whole time. Oh man, I did this the stupid way, didn't I? Yeah, I did this the stupid way. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow then. Changing renderer for the player. I mean, now we don't need to do this anymore. Improve the loading experience, change key grinder graphic. Yeah, I definitely need to do this. I might prioritize this for tomorrow. I don't plan on streaming tomorrow, just FYI. I should probably tackle this issue about the key grinder next. Let's start marketing to people. What's this? Get item stacking. Pick up any item from your warehouse whose stack size is 1. Grant yourself that item such that it'll stack in your warehouse. Oh, this isn't really important. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what happens there. Add this when there's a quest. We did this already. Did this at some point relatively recently. This we're not going to do anything about. What is this about? Yeah. I don't think there's anything to do here. The full game has pretty much been balanced at this point. All right, how many issues are we down to? 80? Why 80? Still want to add walls? Yeah, I don't think it's worth doing those kinds of changes at this point. I think the things I still want to add are like little fun things to discover or explore. Or, I don't know, some like, yeah. Something that'll make the game more memorable. All right, I already have a thing for this. Down to 80 GitHub issues. What was the last time we measured the issues? Down to 126, down to 109. Yeah, I don't see another measurement there. However, we also closed some of these. I just haven't merged the branch yet. Anything I just assigned to myself, probably 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're probably down to like 76 actually. Yeah. And I think one of these is just finished translating Spanish. So it's kind of like 75. Yeah. All right. Well, what are we doing on Wednesday then? Probably more of the same. More of the backlog. Yeah. Okay, this is done. Okay, I gotta get a haircut. I gotta write that down. I've been avoiding this for so long. All right. Yeah, neat. Oh, wow. Well, what a day. I've gotten a lot done. I gotta go feed the cat and play with her. Tell the Spanish translator to stop talking. I would, but I don't speak Spanish. He doesn't understand a word of English. All right, let me go find someone to raid. Who are we gonna raid? Man, I follow a lot of people now. Okay, let me just use the raid tool. All right, same category and English. All right, so someone I'm not following who's got low uptime. Oh, they're not just streaming English. I'm following Scritty. Here's someone I'm not following. They're above an hour though. Is there anyone who just started like within an hour? I'm kind of thinking of just signing off. Have I rated Tin Bears? I don't recall if I did. I'm following Tin Bears, but I'll rate Tin Bears. So I might have rated him before. I think I did. I remember someone with a heart rate monitor. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll be back on, yeah, I'll rate him again anyway. I'll be back on Wednesday. And yeah, but there's just tons of work. So, I mean, working a lot up to launch. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for watching. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take care. See ya. Goodbye. So long.